It was one of those sluggish Friday afternoons during 7th period calculus, the kind where your brain's already halfway into spring break and everyone's just waiting for that final bell. The teacher wasn't even trying to teach anymore. Instead, he pulled up some quiz games on Sporkle to kill time, and we were all just messing around, shouting out answers and laughing. I remember the exact moment everything changed. My buddy had just shouted Adidas for a logo quiz answer, and right then, the school's loudspeaker crackled on. The dean's voice came through, panicked, shaky, and he said 5 words I'll never forget. "This is not a drill." The classroom dropped into dead silence. Our usually chill teacher, who never took anything seriously, suddenly went white as a sheet. He shut off the lights, slammed the door, and told us all to huddle in the back corner. We barely had time to settle before the electric humming in the ceiling cut out, like the school itself had gone still. A few kids exchanged wide-eyed glances. We could all feel it. This wasn't just a false alarm. Then, after a few minutes of unbearable silence, we heard it. A man screaming so loud it echoed through the halls. He wasn't saying words at first, just raw, broken screams that made your blood run cold. 2 girls near me started crying, which only made the fear spread faster. As the screams got closer, we heard fists slamming into the metal lockers outside. And then, a voice clear and violent roaring, "I'll kill all of you!" I felt my stomach drop. The classroom felt like it was shrinking around us. The banging moved from the lockers to our door, loud, violent punches that rattled the handle. One of the girls sobbed, "No!" But it only made things worse. The man started screaming, "Open up!" again and again, pounding so hard it felt like the door might give in. That minute, maybe 2 minutes, felt like an hour. Every single one of us was silently preparing for the worst. But then, just as suddenly as it started, the banging stopped. His screams faded as he moved down the hall, still shouting, still insane. Eventually, there was only silence. 10 minutes passed, maybe more, before the dean came back on. His voice was calmer now, but still shaken. He explained that some mentally unstable man had somehow gotten inside the school and attacked the woman at the front desk. Nobody knew if he had a weapon. Security was almost non-existent back then. No cameras, no proper staff, just wide-open doors. The teachers were told to keep teaching, but not to let anyone leave, not even for the bathroom. But the part that still haunts me to this day came later, from a janitor working the night shift. He found that same man sleeping in a storage closet tucked away in the far end of the building. And according to what he told others, sticking out of the man's coat pocket was a .44 Magnum. By the time the police showed up, the man was gone, disappeared. To this day, none of us, not one person in that classroom, knows if they ever caught him. But I like to believe he's somewhere getting help, because the only other option is much, much worse. It was early October, the kind of gray, rainy afternoon that already feels a little off. My school had 2 separate lunch periods. The first for all 6th graders and half the 7th grade, the second for the rest of us and the 8th graders. That day, I was in the first group. I was in the middle of lunch when I heard it. 4 loud bangs. They echoed through the air like gunshots, but I assumed it was just thunder, until the screaming started. Dozens of kids, panicked, bolting toward the multi-purpose room. At first, I thought they were overreacting, But then campus security rushed in, faces pale and serious, shouting at everyone to get inside immediately. Kids in the lunch line were forced to ditch their trays and run. Something was wrong. Me and my friends were pushed into the massive multi-purpose room along with a huge crowd of other students. Everyone was on edge, whispering, confused. The back wall of that room is all glass, and the second we got in, I saw security and staff rushing to draw the curtains over it. Teachers were stationed at every exit. No one was saying what was going on, and that silence made it worse. My friend Eric, who's never been the type to just sit still, asked one of the staff members what was happening. When he came back, his face had completely changed. He leaned in and said, "You know those houses right across from school? There's some guy, mentally unstable. He barricaded himself in his house and he's threatening to kill himself and the cops if they try to evict him." That was bad enough. But then he added, "They said he was walking around outside the school earlier, just watching kids, and he's a registered sex offender." Everyone went silent. Suddenly, the curtains on those glass windows felt like a thin sheet of paper. The idea that he was right outside just hours, maybe minutes ago, watching us, was terrifying. We were stuck in that room for over an hour. Teachers were tense. Phones were buzzing quietly. No one let us move. When it finally ended, we weren't allowed to leave all at once. They escorted us back to class one group at a time. That walk down the hallway felt like walking through a war zone after the fight was over. Later, things got even worse. My friend Brandy told me the guy lived right next door to her, and last Halloween, she saw something she assumed was just part of his decorations. The man standing in his window, carving into his own arm, then using his own blood to write on the glass. "Don't come here or I'll kill you." Back then, people thought it was a twisted Halloween prank. But now, we all knew the truth. It wasn't a costume, and it wasn't for show. We were just lucky he never made it through those school doors. I'm 22 years old, fresh out of college, and a few months ago, I landed a job back at my old high school, working as a computer intern. They placed me in the school's basement, which is cluttered and dusty like you'd expect, but tucked in the corner was this one small office, and honestly, it was paradise. 3 big desks, 2 mini fridges, a mounted flat screen, cold-blasting AC, basically a tech geek's dream. No students, no noise, and best of all, no heat, unlike the poor teachers sweating it out upstairs. This office also housed the school servers and other tech stuff. I got the job thanks to 3 of my old computer teachers. They'd always liked me and pulled strings to get me in. I'd even go as far as calling them friends, not just teachers. Everything was going smoothly until a few weeks ago. My 2 co-workers, Dave and Gary, weren't in the office that day. They were upstairs handling paperwork or something. I stayed behind on my lunch break, half eating a sandwich, half scrolling on my phone, when the front office called. "We're on lockdown. Someone possibly armed is in the building." The voice was shaky. My stomach dropped. The problem? This cozy little basement office didn't have a real door, just a wide entrance, and the main door to the basement, no lock. I turned off the lights, dimmed my monitor, and stayed still. I texted both Dave and Gary. No response. I waited. 10 minutes. 20. The silence was unreal. Then, I heard the basement door creak open. The sound echoed down the hall and into the dark. I froze. Someone was walking down the stairs, not in a rush, but quick enough to make my heart race. I slid quietly under my desk, holding my breath. The footsteps entered the office. No lights turned on, just silence. My phone vibrated. A text. The loud ding pierced through the darkness like a gunshot. I felt my blood run cold. Whoever was in the room moved toward me slowly. My breath caught in my throat. Then, the desk shook as someone crouched down. I panicked. I dove out, hands up, shouting, "Please, don't shoot! Don't kill me!" The man grabbed my arm. Calmly, he said, "It's okay. Relax. I'm just hiding down here too. What's happening up there?" I was still shaking as I looked at him. Red plaid shirt, jeans, a red and black cap. He looked disheveled, but not dangerous. I asked, "Is there an exit down here?" I nodded, pointing around the corner. But something felt off. So I asked, Who are you?" He hesitated. Then he said he was just a parent, came to pick up his son when everything went crazy, and a teacher told him to hide down here. I glanced at my phone. It was a text from Dave. "Dude, this is insane. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley. Red shirt, hat, don't come upstairs." I froze. My eyes slowly lifted toward the man in front of me. He saw my face change. He knew. He lunged. I bolted. I ran as fast as I ever have in my life, up the basement stairs. A gunshot exploded behind me. I heard it hit something metal. But thank God, it missed. I made it upstairs and straight into the arms of two officers posted near the exit. Seconds later, they had him. Cuffed, disarmed. Turns out, he and Mr. Buckley had some unresolved issue. No one ever found out what. Buckley survived somehow. But the worst part? That echo of the shot in the basement. Even now, I hear it in my sleep.